we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
Back here at Petco Park on this Friday night as we welcome you into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score in this series opener between the Padres and the Houston Astros. The Astros 6 and the Padres 3. A lot to do on our postgame coverage. We'll go back downstairs here from Padre manager Craig Stammen. We've got the full game recap for you, all the radio highlights, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more as the Padres drop to 60-57 on the year. The Astros improved to 60-57 on the year. And really a couple of aspects, I think, right off the bat to discuss from this one before we get into everything else. Obviously, the headline of tonight's game, Robbie Ray making his Padre debut. Could have gone certainly a little bit better for Robbie. Pretty clear he did not have his best command here tonight. Walked 5. We told you in the pregame, Jesse and Tony talked about it plenty, I'm sure, as well, about how good Robbie Ray had been in the lead up to this start in his really a final stretch of, a month and a half worth of starts with the Giants before the trade. And I'll be interested to hear what Robbie has to say after the game. Casey Mize had that long 11-day layoff, and he was not sharp in his outing. And then tonight, sort of in a similar sense, Robbie Ray not sharp in his outing after a longer than usual layoff. Not that I'm making excuses for guys, but if you want to look at something that could explain both Mize and Ray really not having stellar debuts in Padre uniforms, maybe that explains it, the long layoff. But regardless of all that, Robbie Ray, didn't have his best command, certainly. 5 innings, 4 runs given up, 7 hits. I'll tell you what, when you really look at it inning by inning and look at the scenarios that Ray was in, it could have been a lot worse. It really felt like this game early on were, it was a hit or two away from getting a little bit out of hand. That very easily could have been a 6 spot, a 7 spot against Robbie Ray. And what Ray did do well in this game was he limited damage and he kept the Padres in the ball game despite clearly not having the A-plus command. And that allowed the Padres to get right back in it. The 2 runs in the 4th inning, the 1 run in the 5th inning to make it 4-3. And really that brings us to, I think, the other 2 issues from this game. Number 1, Padres had opportunities, some key spots late in this game against the Astro bullpen. 2 on, 2 out in the 6th inning, trailing by 1. They had the bases loaded, down by 2. In the 7th inning, Rengifo grounds out. So there were some big spots late in this game against the Astro bullpen, which ended up being really, really good in this ball game. Scoreless appearances for Souza, Bluebaugh, Okert, Abreu, Hader. They combined to throw 4 1/3 scoreless innings today. Really good job by the Houston bullpen. And the Astros also did a good job of tacking on in this game. The home run by Smith in the 6th inning against Yuki Matsui to make it 5-3. There was the run that scored in the 8th inning on the double play ball to end the inning off the bat of Pena that made it 6-3. So they did a good job tacking on in this game as well. And the Padres unfortunately had a couple of chances in the later innings where they needed a big hit, a big swing, and could not find a way to come through in those spots here tonight. And really that was the story as the Padres fall 6-3. I will also tell you, and we'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard a little bit later, Padres didn't get helped on the out-of-town scoreboard today as far as the D-backs. The D-backs actually beat the Dodgers in the bottom half of the 9th inning. A Ryan Waldschmidt walk-off home run for Arizona. So with that, the Diamondbacks do gain a game on the Padres. That was unfortunate here tonight. Edwin Diaz giving up a game-winning home run to Arizona rookie Ryan Waldschmidt, and that's the way that game ended in the desert tonight. So the Padres lose a game in the standings to the D-backs. Phillies did lose today, so that was, I guess, a silver lining, but not good in the D-back department as Arizona comes up with a really big win for them, certainly on the walk-off home run against L.A. When we come back, full game recap, all the radio highlights for you. We'll also hear from Craig Stammen coming up in a little bit as well. Final score again in this series in homestand opener, Astros 6 and the Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. We'll head downstairs here from Craig Stammen and a little bit full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. As always, our post-game coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. A player with epic SoCal views, a full bar, and poolside bites. Starlight Pool at Jamul Casino Resort is pool season perfected, and day passes are available. Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Series opener here tonight at Petco Park. Let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Robbie Ray making his Padres debut on this Friday evening. Ray got 2 quick outs to begin the game, but then the Astros loaded the bases on a double and a couple of walks. Ray would get out of the inning with no runs across. Meanwhile, Astros starter Ronel Blanco worked around a walk in the bottom half of the first inning. Top of the second, still a 0-0 game. Second batter of the inning for the Astros was Cam Smith.
A 1 pitch on a line to left field and deep. Rengifo going back, turns to watch. This one gonna go. Home run, Cam Smith. Had his first career 2-homer game against the Padres last year, and now he hits his 14th of this season. Here in the second inning tonight, it's 1-0 Astros.
Astros led 1-0 after 2. Ray continued to struggle with his command. The Astros loaded the bases with nobody out in the top of the third on a single and a couple of walks. That set things up for Christian Walker.
Padres play the infield back. The 1-1 pitch is a ground ball up the middle, but Bogarts can't get there. It's into center field. Alvarez has scored. Paredes is on his way. And a 2-run single for Christian Walker puts the Astros ahead 3-0 here in the third.
Astros led 3-0 after 3 innings. Ray's struggles continued into the 4th inning. Jake Myers hit a 1-out bloop double. Ray issued his 5th walk of the night to Jeremy Pena. Yordan Alvarez then hit an RBI single. That gave Houston a 4-0 advantage. So, Padres down 4-zip, going bottom 4 against Blanco. Manny Machado hit a leadoff single. Later in the inning, he was on second base for Jackson Merrill.
Now the 3-1. Merrill swings, rips it in the air down the right field line. Smith not going to get there. This one going to one-hop up against the wall. Kicks away back towards right center. Merrill speeding around second as Machado scores. It's a stand-up triple. And the Pods are on the board. It's 4-1.
So a little spark for the Padres on the Merrill RBI triple. Luis Campusano then walked to put runners at the corners with 1 out. Gavin Sheets then grounded into a double play on a ground ball to first base. Christian Walker touched first base and threw to second for a tag play. That allowed Jackson Merrill to score before the tag was applied, so the run counted. That made it 4-2, but the inning was over. Let's fast forward to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blanco got the first 2 outs, but then we had a little bit of an interesting sequence as Fernando Tatis Jr. dug in. On 2 pitches, Tatis backed out of the batter's box while Blanco delivered the pitch. Tatis seeming to think that Blanco was throwing before Tatis had visually engaged with him. Even with all that, Tatis found himself in a 3-1 count, and Nando made him pay.
On 3-1, Fernando hammers it in the air, deep to left field, way back and gone! Home run, Fernando Tatis Jr. Dropped the bat, took his first few steps towards first base at a snail's pace, and now he'll circle the bases in a 1-run game. It's 4-3.
10th home run of the season for Fernando, and also Fernando, a little bit of a historic home run there as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. Padres trailed 4-3 going to the 6th inning. The night done for Robbie Ray. He went 5 innings in this game. Yuki Matsui came on for the top of the 6th inning. The first batter he faced was Cam Smith.
2-0 hit hard in the air, deep to left field, way back, and gone. Cam Smith with another multi-homer game against the Padres. Did it last April in Houston, and now he has done it again here tonight. 5-3 Astros in the 6th.
Yeah, so the Astros answering back. Smith, another home run. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Padres down 5-3. Padres put 2 on with 2 out against Astro reliever A.J. Blueball. The Astros went to lefty Steven Okert to face Gavin Sheets. Padres answered with pinch hitter Ty France. France struck out to end the inning. Padres still down 5-3 going bottom 7. Okert got the first 2 outs of the inning, but then Fernando Tatis Jr. singled. Jake Cronenworth singled with Manny Machado coming up. The Astros went to right-hander Brian Abreu. Abreu walked Machado to load the bases. Abreu then fell behind Luis Rengifo 3-1, so he was pretty close to walking in a run, but Rengifo grounded out. The Padres left him loaded. So again, the Padres leaving 2 on in the 6th inning. They left him loaded in the 7th inning. The Astros then got another insurance run on a couple of singles and a double play ball, sort of similarly to what happened with the Padres in the 4th inning. And we've seen this a few times now the last couple of weeks where we've had runs score on double plays where the first out was made at first base and it takes away the force play, allowing it to be a timing play at home plate. Same thing happened in the 8th inning. The Astros had runners on first and third, Jeremy Pena at the plate, and there was a ground ball towards the middle. At that point, it was who was playing second base? I think Rengifo was at second base. Yeah, he was at that point in the game. So Rengifo went to first base with the throw, and then it ended up being a 4-3-6 double play. What you really need to know is the first out on that play was made at first base, so it becomes a timing play at home plate. Smith scored before the tag was applied, just like what happened with the Padres in the 4th inning, and probably not the cleanest explanation from me, but what you need to know, the Astros scored a run to make it 6-3. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Brian Abreu, scoreless inning, and in the bottom half of the 9th inning, it was the former Padre, Josh Hader, a 1-2-3 9th inning for his 16th save of the season, and that was that here tonight. Final score, the Astros 6 and the Padres 3. Final totals here tonight for Houston: 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. And for San Diego, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher here tonight, Brian Abreu, the reliever who improves to 4-3. Losing pitcher, Robbie Ray, who drops to 10-7. And the save does go to Josh Hader, his 16th of the season. A sold-out crowd here in downtown San Diego tonight. Nearly 41,000 in the building. 46 sellout of the season. And both these teams now sitting at 60-57 on the year after the Padres lose and the Astros win this series opener. When we return, we'll hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen. Much more to do as we continue to wrap this one up. You're listening to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show from Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network. Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Final score in this series opener, Astros 6 and the Padres 3. Padres will try to bounce back in the middle game of this series tomorrow. We do have, just so you know, get this out of the way right now, we do have some different start times the rest of this series. And, you know, you can get very used to the cadence of the start times at home throughout a season. But tomorrow it's a 4:15 p.m. first pitch. Pregame coverage begins at 3:15, and then Sunday, it's the Sunday night game on national TV. So 5:20 p.m. first pitch on Sunday. Our pregame coverage and your only local coverage here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network will begin at 4:20. So just some housekeeping notes for you there as we continue to break this one down. I did tell you I'd give you a little note here, kind of a cool note on a positive note here tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr., number one, the home run he hit in the fifth inning was kind of a really cool one because he was clearly unhappy with Ronel Blanco, and Blanco pitching before Fernando thought he was ready. And, you know, you do see all the time, you know, the umpire go out and say, hey, you've got to engage with the hitter before you throw. You know, the hitter has to be ready by a certain time as well. But, you know, you see that all the time, and there was clearly just a misunderstanding, a discrepancy in what the umpire was seeing and what Fernando believed. And, you know, he was backing out of the batter's box saying, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not engaging with him. So it was kind of weird. Even with that, Blanco fell behind 3-1, and then Fernando hit one into the Western Metal Building, not far from where I'm sitting. And you could just tell with the you know, the bat drop and Fernando's kind of strut and slow walk out of the batter's box down the first base line, he was going to milk it a little bit, and rightfully so, because I think he was frustrated by everything that happened. But Fernando had the final say in that sequence. Not enough here tonight. That would be the final run the Padres scored of this game. But even though it's only Fernando's 10th home run of the season, however, as you know, a lot of them have come, you know, as of late. On that home run, Fernando Tatis Jr. did take sole possession of third all-time in home runs in Padres franchise history. He passed Adrian Gonzalez. That was the 162nd career home run for Fernando, obviously all in a Padre uniform. And Adrian Gonzalez is now, he is at 161. So again, Fernando now in sole possession of third on the all-time Padre home run list. Tatis's next home run will tie him with Nate Colbert for second on the all-time home run list. So he's 2 away from passing Colbert and having a sole possession on that all-time home run list. And, of course, Manny Machado is the guy who has the most home runs in Padres franchise history right now. So, yeah, that should happen this year. You would imagine Fernando's going to hit a couple more, especially with the regularity he's now hitting them. But Fernando did have an impressive home run, impressive sequence, certainly, but unfortunately not enough here tonight as the Padres fall 6-3. Robbie Ray in this game, certainly not at his best, did not have his A-plus command. He walked 5. He was in a lot of trouble, quite frankly. It could have been worse. You know, he kind of found a way, like a veteran pitcher so often does, to keep you in a ball game. Gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 walks, but could have been worse if you watch this game. You know, again, Astros stranded the bases loaded in the first inning. They did score 2 in the third, but they had 2 on with nobody out after that. After they had already scored 2, did not score again. They ended up leaving a base runner on in the 4th inning. Double play ended the inning. Leadoff double in the 5th inning. They didn't score, so could have been worse. Robbie Ray at least kept you in the ball game here tonight and found a way through 5. But again, Padres offense, they had some opportunities, especially in the 6th when they left 2 on, in the 7th when they left the bases loaded. And the Astros bullpen really impressive in this game. 4 1/3 scoreless innings between Souza, Blubaugh, Okert, Abreu, and Hader, who picked up the save. And the Astros also did a good job tacking on some offense with the home run in the 6th inning by Smith, his second of the game, and manufacturing a run in the 8th inning to make it 6-3. With all that in mind, let's go downstairs, hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
What did you see from Robbie Ray? Was it really all that much different? He just kind of paid for everything against the good offense, or what did you see?
He was definitely not, on, with his command. Like, his command was definitely off a little bit. So, he got behind in a lot of counts, walked more probably guys than he has all season. So he grinded that outing out, gave us 5, which is big, and showed how competitive he is, and that he's going to be able to do that for us the rest of the year.
They'll both make 8 or 9 more starts for you. Is that just how you look at it now that you know who you got? And
yeah, I think that's what you get these starters for for the period of time that you're getting them, and you're looking at, will we be better with those guys over a period of time, not just in like one single first start. I know the reaction is this is their first start, and they didn't pitch their best of the season, but like they didn't pitch their best every single time early in the season either. It's kind of the ebbs and flows of the season, and we're thankful that they're on our team and looking forward to the next 8, 9, 10 starts, playoff starts that they get.
What'd you make of the night offensively? You had a bunch of chances, felt like.
Yeah, we did. We had some chances and just, didn't quite come through there against their bullpen. Had their starter in the ropes, made a little bit of a base running mistake. Not a little bit, but a base running mistake, early that could have got us a run with the top of the lineup going up. Nothing's guaranteed, but we had a good situation there. And then we had first and second with tie up and bases loaded there with Rengifo up and a good 3-1 count. So had our chances, just weren't able to come through.
I know you said all along that the power would come for Fernando. He has 10 homers now. He's kind of hitting it out with some regularity. What have you seen from him lately?
Yeah, just confidence and the want to help the team win as much as possible. I think that's his number one goal, is us winning. It's not so many home runs he hits or what his batting average is, but how can he help us win? And I felt like, tonight he took some at-bats where he was very focused and he wanted to do something for the team, and those were the couple of results that we got.
Should there be a red light in those types of situations? There have been a couple of those where.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think I'll take the blame for him running there. I should have had a red light, down 3-0. Leadoff guy on second, top of the order up. Just didn't give him the red light. Kind of trust our base runners a little bit, maybe a little bit too much in that situation, and we've got to correct that. I've got to correct that, and we will do that tomorrow.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 6-3 loss to the Astros here tonight. Sam Levitt back with you on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. The moment they're referring to there in a couple of questions, and we've not discussed this here tonight because it really, I'm not saying it wasn't relevant, but it wasn't relevant, in the game recap into the sort of bigger picture of the game. What you're hearing there about the red light and about, getting thrown out at third base. The Padres were down 3-0 in the bottom half of the third. Sung-Moon Song gets on base against Blanco with a single, and then Jake Myers in center, bobbles it. That allows Song to go to second base. So it's a single and an error on a Myers in center, and all of a sudden you're down 3-0. It's early in the game. It's the bottom half of the third. You've got the very top of the lineup, Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up, nobody out. And Song, with Fernando at the plate, decided to try to steal third base, and he got thrown out. And that is not a spot where you're trying to steal third. It's the third inning. You're down 3-0. You've got the top of the lineup up, and Song got thrown out. And that was a poor base running decision. It was. And, look, you heard it there. There has been, I think the Padres have been, for the most part this season, they've been a good defensive team. I think fundamentally they've been a solid team. There have been some outs on the bases like that, like Manny getting thrown out, a while back at third base in a spot that really didn't make sense. Like that was not good with Sung-Moon Song. So, look, those are little things in a game, and as we get deeper into, pennant race baseball, those things do matter. So it's a good, I guess, teaching moment for Sung-Moon Song, but that's what they're referring to there. And we have seen that a little bit, guys getting thrown out in some kind of odd spots like that where you really can't make, an out there. So, yeah, that was unfortunate there. Kind of took a lot of steam out of the inning in the third. Again, Padres, like Craig alluded to, they had their opportunities against the Astro bullpen in this game, namely in the 6th and 7th when they pinch hit with France and France struck out. That was against Stephen Okert in the 6th inning, and then the 7th inning when Rengifo grounded out against Brian Abreu. So, look, tough loss, so no doubt about it. But you know what? You hop back on the horse tomorrow and you figure out how to even up this series at a game apiece. When we come back, we'll get into our daily awards. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. Final score here tonight, Astros 6 and the Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, the Astros 6 and the Padres 3 here at Petco Park as the Astros win this series opener against the Padres. Sam Levitt back with you inside the Western Metal Building here in downtown San Diego as we continue our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Hey player, the rooftop pool's open, day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard in just a little bit. If you want to get a phone call in on this Friday evening, phone number is always 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's tell you about tonight's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Well, relief pitcher of the game tonight, it's kind of hard to give it to a Padre tonight. Now, Yuki and Wandy, they each went 2 innings in this game, so they did provide a little bit of length. However, they both did give up a run, and in a close game, when you had a one-run game, it was 4-3. Yuki's run made it 5-3. Wandy's run made it 6-3. Hey, those are big runs, so can't give it to them tonight. I think on the Astros side of things, you got to go with Brian Abreu because Abreu comes in the 7th inning. At that point, the Padres down 5-3. Comes in with runners on first and third, 2 men away. Walks Manny Machado to load the bases. Then he falls behind Luis Rengifo 3-1. So he's in serious danger of walking in a run. Rengifo grounds out the second to end the inning. The Padres leave him loaded, and then Abreu ends up striking out 2 in a 1-2-3-8 inning. So it was an inning and a third scoreless for Abreu. Got out of that big jam. You could argue, the late moment of the game with Rengifo at the plate. Did a really good job. And, in fact, the walk from Manny to load the bases, that would be the last base runner the Padres had in this game, because Hader then put together a 1-2-3 ninth inning after Abreu retired the side in order in the 8th inning. So, unfortunately, here tonight, we are going to give relief pitcher of the game to Astro right-hander Brian Abreu. Let's talk about the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Heart of the order here tonight, Machado, Rengifo, and Merrill. Manny tonight did have a hit, did have a run scored, did have 2 walks in this game. Rengifo, quiet night for him. He's been really, really good, but 0 for 4 tonight. Jackson Merrill did have the RBI triple to get the Padres scoring started in the 4th inning. So good to see Jackson continue to swing the bat well. He's been very, very good lately. Manny had the single earlier in that inning and then had the 2 walks later in the game. So that's a look at the 3, 4, 5 spots. A combined 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and an RBI, the hits from Manny and Merrill. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get you ready for tomorrow's middle game of this series against the Astros. Again, if you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973, the phone number to call. Final score here tonight, Astros 6 and the Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network.
Stay tuned.
Park, final score here tonight, Astros 6 and the Padres 3 as the Padres fall in this series opener in downtown San Diego. Middle game of this series tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way in a moment as well. Let's squeeze in a phone call or two here on this Friday night. Why not? Because we can. Let's go to Lugo calling in from Eastlake. Lugo, you're on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome in.
Hey, Sam. Thanks for taking my call. bummer we lost the game. We lost a game in the wild card race because somehow the Dodgers lost to the Diamondbacks. But I just wanted to kind of point out just a couple of things that I enjoyed. I enjoyed how Robbie Ray showed some real grit out there. And I can tell in the next few games he's going to pitch, he's going to do as well or better. And the obvious things as far as losing the game was obviously that base running that was weird. Not sure what was going on there. But one thing I wanted to talk about is I don't think I've ever seen Matsui come out at a critical moment and not give up a home run. I'm not sure what that's about, but I wanted to point that out. And the last thing was, it just seemed like there was a lot of double play balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate the phone call, Luke. I don't know if that's fair to Yuki. I mean, Yuki's been really, really good, really reliable. I don't think that's fair to Yuki. I think he's been quite a bit better than that. Look, the problem in the sixth inning tonight were really two elements of it. Number one, Yuki comes in right after Fernando had made it a one-run game in the first batter of the next inning. Bang, a home run, and now the deficit is back to 2. And Yuki came in, he fell behind Smith 2-0 and got in a hitter's count, and Smith made him pay. So those were the issues there for Yuki. I'll touch on your Robbie Ray point. Look, Robbie didn't have his best command tonight, clearly. It was clear from the opening inning on when he walked 2 in the first inning. I am going to give Robbie Ray the benefit of the doubt. He was on longer rest than usual. This is a guy that's been pitching every 5 days all year. Longer rest, a lot of stuff going on, new team. Hopefully he's sharper next time out. Look, the Padres are going to really need Mize, who had arguably the worst start of his career in Arizona, and Ray to be better than they were the first time through. I mean, there's no way around that. I mean, those guys are going to have to be better. I'm confident they'll be better than what they showed, both Mize in Arizona and Ray here tonight. Would you have liked better outings for both? Would you have liked them to be sharper? Yes. But, look, two things can be true at once. You only have in the regular season, 8, 9, 10 starts from these guys. So, yes, it puts more pressure on each start. However, you don't win, lose the trade, however you want to look at it. Call it a good deadline acquisition, not a good deadline acquisition off one start. And I do think the first start is kind of the oddest start for these guys because of the extra rest and that element of it. So we'll see. I will say this. I agree with you, Lugo, that Robbie Ray, at the very least here tonight, just sort of gutted through the outing, kept you in the game. He clearly didn't have his best stuff. He was falling behind a lot, but he sort of found a way in the way that you hope a veteran lefty, 34 years old could do, and, sort of gutted his way through 5 innings. But, yeah, sure, going to need Ray and Mize to be quite a bit better than they were in their first starts in the brown and gold. I guess Robbie Ray wore the City Connects tonight, so you get it in a Padres uniform. Let's go to Santee. It's Curtis calling in. Curtis, you're on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show with Sam Levitt. Welcome in. Go ahead.
Hey, just real quick. I was at the game tonight, season ticket holder for 5 years. Does any of this even matter? The Dodgers are going to win the whole thing back to back to back. It almost just feels like, why are we even trying?
Well, that's not the way I'd want to think about it, Curtis. I appreciate the phone call. What's the point of the whole thing? Well, I guess the point of the whole thing is you do your best to win baseball games. You do your best to make it to the postseason. You do your best to win games in the postseason when you get there. The goal is to win the World Series. Now, the Dodgers have a great team. The Dodgers are going for 3 in a row. I'll also tell you the Dodgers have now lost 7 in a row. Now, does that have a bearing on what they're going to do in the postseason? And, look, they still have a very big lead for the division. Yes. Look, Curtis, I understand your sentiment in a sense, okay, when the Dodgers have done what they've done and they trade for Skubal at the deadline. I understand where you're coming from. I understand your frustration. At the end of the day, I still do think, even though the Dodgers have won 2 World Series in a row, when you get to postseason baseball, it is a very different thing. And, you know, if you were asking me right now, Dodgers versus the field in the postseason and to win the World Series, I 100% take the field. Okay, because the postseason is a different kind of thing. And guess what? The Dodgers have come very close to not winning the 2 World Series they've won the last couple of years, right? The postseason is a whole different kind of thing. So I get your sentiment. I understand it. I'm not going to, say, you're wrong for feeling it, but I promise you, you got to get there and then you see what happens. And, there are a lot of really good teams in baseball, and hopefully the Padres can be there in the end and in the postseason. And if they face the Dodgers, knock them out. So, have fun. Have fun, Curtis. That's my message to you. Take a breath. Have fun. Try to enjoy it. Try to focus on your team. And when you got to focus on the Dodgers, you'll focus on the Dodgers. And the Dodgers have lost 7 in a row. Now, the problem with that, and we'll get into it with the out-of-town scoreboard, look, not that you ever want to be a Dodger fan as a Padre fan, but you very, very, very well. I think you should be rooting for the Dodgers in this series against the D-backs if you just want to talk realistically about, kind of what you need right now. So, it pains everybody to have to kind of root for L.A., but it does feel like you probably want the Dodgers to beat the D-backs this weekend in Arizona. Speaking of what went on in Arizona and beyond, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday evening. Blue Jays beat the Phillies in Philadelphia 5-4. Andres Jimenez, Josh Smith, who just got traded to Toronto from Texas, hit home runs in that game for Toronto. Mets beat the Pirates 6-4 in Pittsburgh. Marcus Semien, his 14th home run of the season in that one. Nationals beat the Reds in D.C. 5-3. Cade Cavalli, 6 strong innings in that game for the Nationals. He struck out 8. Yankees walked it off in 10 innings on the Braves. Ryan McMahon, a walk-off sac fly in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Red Sox won again, 13-1 as they win a 9th in a row. They beat the A's at Fenway Park today. Jarren Duran, his 16th home run of the season. In that one, the Red Sox have won 9 in a row. They are 27-3 in their last 30 games. Let me repeat that for you. The Red Sox are 27-3 in their last 30 games. Unbelievable, the turnaround the Red Sox have had this summer. Unreal. They're just beating everybody right now. Angels beat the Marlins 4-3 in Miami. Mike Trout, 19th home run of the year in that one. In Chicago tonight, Guardians and the White Sox going at it. You know what? I'm going to talk about that game in a second. Not quite yet. How about the Rangers and the Orioles in Texas? Jock Peterson, a big swing in Texas.
First pitch from Buzz. Swinging a drive to right. If it's fair, the Rangers are in front. That ball out of here. How about that for a Jock Jam? His 21st home run of the season. 110-mile-an-hour missile off the wood.
That would be enough for the Rangers. They hang on to beat the O's 2-1 in Texas tonight. Jared Sandler on the call. Rangers Radio. 21st home run of the year for Jock Peterson. All right, let's talk about that Guardians-White Sox game in Chicago. Angel Martinez had a big game, including this for Cleveland.
And he swings and skies it high, deep right field, way back there. Grand slam. Angel Martinez. Single-handedly, a one-man wrecking crew tonight here on the south side.
Guardians radio on the call. Angel Martinez, a grand slam in the 5th inning, 12th home run of the season for Martinez. He had 6 RBIs in that win, 8-2. Guardians over the White Sox. Twins beat the Brewers 8-6 in Milwaukee. Josh Bell, Kalen Culpepper, in his major league debut, hit a home run for the Twins in that one. I think that was the debut for Culpepper. I know he just got called up. Let me double check that real quick. Kind of went with it there. Was it his debut? Yes, it was. First major league hit was a home run. So how about that? 2 young shortstop prospects, big-time prospects, Culpepper and George Lombard Jr. for the Yankees, both in the same week. Their first major league hits, home runs. Pretty cool. Anyway, Twins beat the Brewers 8-6. Taking a look at other finals today from around the major leagues. Cubs beat the Royals 6-4 in Kansas City. The Cardinals beat the Rockies 3-2 in St. Louis. Ivan Herrera, a home run in that game, 13th of the season. We told you about the D-backs and the Dodgers a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, because you could have a little Dodger hate in you. Well, again, I think you should probably be rooting for the Dodgers in this series based on the standings, but Dodgers led 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Edwin Diaz on the mound, and Ryan Waldschmidt hit a walk-off 2-run home run in the bottom half of the 9th inning. D-backs beat the Dodgers 4-3, the walk-off blast by Waldschmidt. Rays beat the Mariners 2-1 in Seattle. Johnny DeLuca, Jonathan Aranda had home runs in that game for Tampa Bay. And finally, Giants over the Tigers 5-2 in San Francisco. Rafael Devers, Willy Adames, home runs in that game for the Giants. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday evening. So, where do things stand here at the end of tonight? They look like this in the wild card standings. Dodgers have lost 7 in a row. That's not wild card related right now, but just so you know. Cubs hold the first wild card spot. Big lead on everybody else right now. Arizona and Philadelphia. Arizona winning tonight, Philadelphia losing. So they're both sitting at 62 and 55, holding the final 2 wild card spots. The Padres are 2 games behind both teams on the outside looking in. St. Louis 3.5 back, Miami 4 back, Cincinnati 5 back. All of a sudden the Pirates are 5.5 back. Nationals are 5.5 back as well. Final score here tonight, Astros 6 and the Padres 3. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's Play of the Game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
2-0 hit hard in the air, deep to left field, way back, and gone. Cam Smith with another multi-homer game against the Padres. Did it last April in Houston, and now he has done it again here tonight. 5-3 Astros in a 6th.
Well, I would love the play of the game to be something else here tonight, but it does feel like it has to be something Astro-related, and I got to give it to Cam Smith. 2 home run game, 1 in the 2nd, the solo shot against Ray, 1 in the 6th inning, the solo shot against Matsui, and we alluded to it earlier. The reason I think that's the play of the game tonight, Padres had just made it a 1-run game on the Fernando home run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then boom, first batter at the top of the 6th inning, Smith hits it out, and you've got a 2-run deficit again. So kind of felt like it swung the momentum back in the Astros' favor. So unfortunately for that reason, that is tonight's play of the game. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, game 2 of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Astros. Again, little bit of a different first pitch time tomorrow. 4:15 p.m. first pitch. Our pregame coverage will begin at 3:15. Right-hander Peter Lambert on the mound for Houston. Right-hander Michael King on the mound for San Diego. Again, our pregame coverage begins at 3:15. From right here inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. A look at the final totals here tonight for the Astros. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They left on 8. For the Padres, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 7. Winning pitcher tonight, Brian Abreu, who improves to 4-3. Losing pitcher, Robbie Ray, who loses his Padres debut, drops to 10-7 overall this season. The save goes to left-hander Josh Hader, his 16th of the year. Time of game, 2 hours and 56 minutes in the crowded Petco Park on this Friday evening, the 46th sellout of 2026, 40,958. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 4:15 p.m. Pre-game coverage begins at 3:15. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. And the final score here tonight, the Houston Astros 6 and the San Diego Padres 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a very nice rest of your Friday evening.